Orcust is putting in a lot of work, and White Forest isn't far behind. Now, this is the sort of regional I like to see. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Now, I know you're going to be looking at this and you're going to be seeing 5 Maliss, Robbie. Why are you even covering this regional? Well, I'm covering it because of what else happened in the course of this event. Those 5 Maliss decks did not win the event. Actually, those 5 Maliss decks didn't even make top 2. They found themselves in an awkward top 4 down, which means our challengers had the place out here to do well. Now, we did have one Rizel Fiendsmith deck actually make its way into second place, which is not that unheard of right now. You do have a little bit of leeway to work with that, but I think that one is by far probably what you would be expecting. Now, we do have a White Forest deck. Now, this White Forest deck, it's not your standard White Forest deck. No. This White Forest deck is playing Toy Magician, which is extremely unheard of. It's so unheard of out here that I'm genuinely surprised by the challengers that we've seen kind of leaping around in this event, because this is one of those cases that you just got to take it in and go, you know, there's a lot to really be thinking about with this. And then our Orcust strategy as well. Now you're probably like, Orcust? Robbie, are you sure we're in the right format here? You know, Orcust, you know, White Forest already had a good YCS showing out here. So there's no reason why we can't see this deck performing well on the regional side. So winning your event is none other than the power of White Forest. And Orcust making a surprise top 8 out here. Now those alone are enough to make this regional look good. Let's pass on over to deck list. This is the ultimate challenge to the meta out here. And as you can see, yes, we were playing the toy box shenanigans in here, but you're going to notice Toy Magician in here. So remember, Toy Magician, you set this card from your hand, your spell and trap card zone, as a spell. During the end phase of this set, card is in your spell and trap card zone was destroyed by an opponent's card effect and sent to the graveyard this turn. So summon this card, and if this card is flipped, summon, destroy spell and trap cards on the field equal to the number of Toy Magicians on the field. We're just using this particularly as an extra filler slot, as I'm going to be calling it in here, because one thing you're going to notice with the way that this deck is kind of performing out here, especially with the toy stuff, is, you know, this is just one more body for you to be able to feed off of, you know, especially, you know, what if there's a scenario that you might open up, you know, not super optimal, or, you know, the later game is kind of going here, you're kind of going to have to find some extra options along the way. So I think that this is actually kind of a cool little thing to see in here. Now, in terms of extra gas in here, obviously, you know, you have the Magician Souls. We are actually playing the Queen Azamina in here, which is, to be honest, a little bit shocking. But, I mean, you do have access to Saint Azamina herself. So, you know, the fact that you do have the big one in here is also going to be pretty important, just what you can do. I know we joke about this being a 0 attack 4,000 point monster, but, you know, there is something to it. You also get the Chorozo combo built into this as well. I think a lot of people kind of forget how stupid Chorozo actually can be. Free access to a tuner monster definitely is something you should not underestimate. Now, because we are playing a fat 60 in here, you are going to notice that we are trying to, you got to fill this thing out. All right, you got to have access to those best numbers. You got to make sure you're going to get to those best results. And of course, a set is going to be probably one of the better cards that you're going to have access to in this. So you do want to maximize this just to make sure that, you know, not only you're going to see it, but you're going to be able to go through those extremely broken power lines against your opponent and be able to do what you need to do. Honestly, I'm just impressed. This is so much different than what we have seen in all of these builds so far out here. And you want to see people cooking up crazy ideas. You want to see people innovating out here. And that's amazing. Also, you know, shout out to Stellar actually getting a chance to see play. Poor card has just been getting bullied. Also, we are doing one copy of the Nightmare Apprentice in here as well. Yeah, I see I see. I see we're doing, I mean, you can kind of pick your segue here, but you got a lot of cool options available with this. So, congratulations to actually challenging the meta. I think, honestly, looking at this is the kind of stuff that just makes me excited to play this game. Next up here, we have Rizel with a side of Fiendsmith. Now, if you've been keeping up in the course of the meta, you understand that this is the ultimate challenger in today's meta. This is going to be the deck that most people are going to be playing. It's been kind of the go-to, even though, this event told us that, Maliss is by far the biggest representative in this region. And I'm not surprised to be seeing that, be the case. You got some very big differential opinions about the meta across the board. Let's build only one duo drive, but you're going with, of course, the 2 detonator. I mean, you got to make concessions somewhere. You got to get in this entire Fiendsmith package, which is, not easy, all things considered, but I like this list. I think that this is actually pretty good as a place to kind of start and give yourself some breathing room as to what you need to be doing to challenge the meta. Ooh, we have Maliss for you. Now, what I find very interesting is for how much Maliss was present in this room, you got away with main decking shifters. That, to me, is frickin' wild, man. And the fact that this was okay really says something, I think, about this meta. Not like in a bad way, but if you do shifter in the mirror match, your opponent's going to look at you and they're going to go, huh? Also, we're not even dedicating Metaltronia slots to the main deck. We're just pushing these aside. Honestly, if this were a YCS, I would make the argument that this might be something that you want to be main decking, which is perfectly understandable. Of course, I mean, you're playing the detonator for this. A-Bow just makes this deck also feel incredibly unfair. So, once again, another interesting little challenge to the meta. Okay, next up here. Not even 60 cards. We have 40 card Orcust for you. Now, I see that we're actually doing the Deception package in here. Huh. So obviously, like every one of these other decks, you want to rely on the Deception package to set you on up so that you can actually play the game. It's that blanketing layer of nice little protection. You want to make sure your opponent's not going to absolutely tear you out of the water, which, I mean, let's be honest here for a second, you might be getting bullied really hard. I do see in terms of Bestials, so this is actually kind of cool. So since we don't have the new Orcust stuff right now, you're able to use the Lubellions instead of the Branded Regained here, and then you can kind of use the Branded Regain as your efficient resource system to reset those effects so that you can actually do things. Now, that being said, I don't necessarily think that this is a broken method to going about things, but it's enough that, you can keep the loop going and keep that pressure on your opponent so that you can effectively continue to play the game. Now, obviously, only one orchestrated return. You don't really get as much freedom with this build as you might think. Also, your Mech Knight, or your Orcust package is greatly reduced here. You're only doing 2 of these. 1 symbol, the 2 Harpor, the 1 Nightmare, and of course, the 1 World Wand. You got to, trim down on those bricks. You cannot afford a bad handout here. So that's actually kind of cool. We're also playing the Morion in here as well. Okay, and then our last list here. Well, you shouldn't be surprised. We got more Maliss out here. Now, I try to be as optimistic as I can with these lists. Obviously, this meta has been figured out. It's the beginning of February. We know what we are doing with this meta now, but in terms of, I guess, interesting things, you do see the double Allure of Darkness in here. Gives you the turbo option to get into the deck a little bit further. This build went pretty ham on Bestials, man. Triple Baldrake, triple Druis, 1 Magna Hut, and actually playing the Saronir in here. This is not the first time I've seen the Saronir popping up, but it's enough that you kind of go, huh, that's very, very cute. In terms of other cool things, I mean, you got the crossouts for the disruptions. You've also got the shifters to bring on in to, punish your opponent. But This looks actually pretty standard, surprisingly. So what do you guys think about everything here? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.